So today's topic is going to be bullets and broadheads. So with our last set of podcasts on bear hunting, posted a couple of reels and shorts on YouTube and TikTok, and the response from the one caliber question is very polarizing. And I was thinking about that basically applies to broadheads as well. So what are you guys shooting for broadheads and bullets is kind of the question and topic about this. So I personally think that like practicality ultimately is going to win over. And what I mean by that is as we start to move down the arrow tuning, heavy arrow, there are so many, obviously there is the fixed blade versus mechanical camp, but the weight, for me, simplicity wins out. Here in Michigan, there used to be a show called Fred Trost Practical Sportsman, and practical, I think, was like the key word in that. So anywhere you go, when we start to get into the 200 grain broadhead, the 150 grain broadhead, 175, like John's shooting, as a matter of fact, it gets kind of wonky if you wreck a broadhead or if you're trying to replicate that. So not that I'm saying we shouldn't strive for that, but it kind of begs the question, should we be getting something that's kind of available off the shelf? And all these boutique type broadhead companies, and they offer all these crazy single bevel, offerings. It just seems like we need to get a little bit more simplistic. And not to say that you shouldn't know your arrow weight, arrow trajectory, how many grains, but you can build that same arrow using available components. So you can, a lot of times we can recover the insert if we mess up the broadhead, things like that. But the same goes true for bullets. And I don't usually get to talk about this because it's being a bow hunting podcast, but like most of the stuff that I have is based on availability. So 308, that 30-06 that Joseph talked about, those things are available. And so it kind of begs the question, like, is ignorance bliss? So before podcasts, before YouTubes, did we know what 35 Wheeling was or 28 Nosler? Some of the comments in the TikTok, and I think TikTok and YouTube Shorts is where we're getting all these, one caliber, it's 35 Wheeling for me, 25 Nosler, 6.5 Creedmoor. But that ignorance is bliss with just about everything. And I say it with broadheads is the worst business to get into because it's either the greatest broadhead in the world or it's the worst. So they kill a bunch of animals, everything I kill, everything I shoot dies, or it's the worst broadhead ever because I lost the biggest buck of my life, my daughter lost her buck. Any of these types of things is where it gets kind of wonky. And the same thing could be held true for the bullets, where you go out to the range, you shoot it, and you shoot something, it dies. We're not usually doing autopsies on these animals, and we don't generally get to see the ones that get away. And with a rifle, they don't get away as often. Now, maybe in the Western shooting world, where we're shooting super long distances and you want super tight patterns and all of this stuff, but tried and true kind of ammo availability, if you're not reloading, all of this stuff. So I think that it kind of goes back to that practical category where what we need to do is kind of think like downrange. Like if we're traveling, are you going to be able to find a 175 grain broadhead if they get lost or broken or anything like that? Same thing with ammunition. Are you shooting ammunition that's going to be readily available for you wherever your end hunt is? And that's just the kind of the way that I look at all this stuff. And heading into the gun world, man, it's always come back to just the same thing. Is it's fixed and mechanical, it's new versus old, it's what my dad used to shoot or what I have available to me. So I guess in closing, we're going to say that I feel like ignorance is bliss. Kind of we're in an echo chamber here, and find something that works for you. But once you get that, maybe dial it in just a little bit more, especially with the arrow side, to something that is available. Time's up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We're out of here.